Available now on Blu-ray from VCI Entertainment is 1975's Journey into the Beyond. This is one of those Mondo documentaries, one of those Faces of Death style documentaries, one of those In Search of style documentaries that proliferated in the 70s. BS documentaries, you could also call it. The kind of stuff that History Channel became, 24/7. This is a documentary about like psychic phenomenon and things like that. And narrated by John Carradine in the English language version. There's two versions on this disc. You can listen to Spanish language or English language. With the English, you get John Carradine and another guy. At some point through the movie, it just suddenly some other guy's talking for like one or two segments. Then it goes back to John Carradine, which was kind of interesting. So documentary footage, some stock footage, but mostly documentary footage. Really great transfer of this film. The audio is a little weird at times. There are moments where it sounds like they might have lifted the audio from Carradine's version from like a videotape that had tracking issues. There are just moments where you hear these little buzzing noises that were a little weird, but otherwise it looks and sounds great. And it's just delving into various forms of psychic phenomena. At the beginning, John Carradine does you never see him, it's just his voiceover. He does this intro and he's like, join me for whenever I hear join me, it's always says like TV to me. This wasn't made for TV, but it makes me feel like it's TV because if somebody paid money and sat in a theater, they're going to join you. So the idea of, join me for this exploration, it's like, well, yeah, I'm here. It's not like I have a choice to flip the channel. That's not a complaint. It was just kind of interesting to notice. So what do we have? I made a list. We have talk about all kinds of phenomena. It just goes from one to the next. So we have possession and exorcism. We have psychic mediums. We have spiritual healing. We have psychic surgery. We have astral projection. We have hypnosis. We have all kinds of 70s paranormal and metaphysical poppycock and a lot of really gruesome stuff. So at the beginning of the film, it does this thing that is just so wonderful. Carradine explains that a lot of this may be hard to take visually. There might be some very upsetting presentations in the film, if you will. So in order to spare the more delicate, this is so William Castle, in order to spare the more delicate members of the audience the indignity or trauma of seeing these things, there will be a little sound of a bell that will ring when you want to look away and another little sound of a bell when you can look again. And this reminded me of, as a kid, watching, I think it was Channel 38 WSBK TV Boston. They were showing this movie from 1966 called Chamber of Horrors, which was initially a TV movie pilot for a series that never sold. So they put it in theaters and tried to amp up, the fear factor, which was, no scarier than anything you'd see on TV at the time. They added these things called the fear flasher and the horror horn. And the fear flasher would be when something scary was about to happen, the screen would flash red off and on, and it would go ding-a-ling-a-ling, or something like that. And when the fear and the peril was over, there'd be another sound that would go off, which was the titular horror horn, and you'd be okay to look again. So Journey into the Unknown does that, and I love it. And I was looking away a lot of the time because, give me the most disgusting special effects of somebody just being turned inside out, and I'll be like, wow, that's horrible. And show me something real, and I'm just like, whoa, nope, can't do it. And that's what this film does. So there's a scene early on where a woman is under hypnosis, apparently, and getting dental surgery done. And it's just, a lip peeled back and all kinds of blood and tooth being removed or whatever. And I'm just like, don't need to see that. Don't need to look at that. I'm gonna just look away. I'm gonna listen for the bells. If you do watch it, it becomes, and even if you do look away, it becomes this thing where every so many minutes it's like ding-ling-ling. It's like this weird Pavlovian thing that is going on, or this weird, it's like it's like, well, what my life used to be until recently. It's like you live too close to a convenience store with a doorbell that's really, really loud, and it's a popular convenience store. So it just ding, 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 ding throughout this movie, and the sound of these little chimes, which also reminded me of the old read-along books I had as a kid, where a sound would play and you turn the page to keep reading along. So that's throughout the movie, which is ridiculous. It is, scenes of apparent alleged exorcisms and alleged psychic surgery, which has been pretty thoroughly debunked everywhere, and all kinds of, crackpot experts with, very 70s clothing talking about how what they're doing is very important, and it's amazing that I can, go on the astral plane and all this other stuff. your mileage may vary on how much you want to believe any of this, but it was a wonderful time for those of us who loved these films that would be listed in the TV guide as speculation. And this film is one of them. I'd never heard of it before, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't great, but it was fun in that In Search Of, Faces of Death kind of just super exploitive documentary that it is. So what does it have for extras? It has it's got 2 deleted scenes that look really horrible. They looked like they were multi-generational VHS dubs that were put on YouTube at a low res at some point and then pulled back off YouTube and then squashed to be widescreen. I don't know why they do that. I mean, 4:3 is what they should be, and there's a way in your editing program to put it back to 4:3 if somebody squashed it the wrong way. But anyway, the film is presented looking great in 16:9 HD widescreen. Those extra clips look terrible, but they are amusing for this weird crackpot guy who's in them with really very interesting hair. So available now on Blu-ray for, let me show you. Let me show you what it looks like. I happen to have a copy right here. I love that they used the original poster for this. That to me sells it just as much as anything. So you get your original poster, you get some stills on the back, and on the inside you've just got the discs. So nothing too fancy there, but that original poster, that's what sold me on wanting to get a review copy of this. Is there life after death? Exorcism, barehanded surgery, levitation, voodoo torture. Not just another movie, it's another world. Journey into the beyond, won't you? Narrated by John Carradine. I love this stuff. I love that this stuff is out there. I didn't think the movie was that great, but I enjoyed watching it. Does that make any sense? Probably not, but neither does half the stuff they talk about in this movie. Journey into the Beyond, available now on Blu-ray from VCI Entertainment.